Why big girls fear bouncing. I shudder a little as a bead of sweat drips from my lower back straight into my ass crack, and try to focus on the chick singers of the 90s soundtrack my adorable tiny lesbian spin instructor has chosen for this morning's workout. She's what I like to call a speed-happy teacher. Her workouts include such rapid cadences, and her legs rotate at such an impossible rate, I often wonder if my face reflects the mixture of awe and despair I feel as I try to keep up with her. But mixed in with futility and fatigue is another feeling, a horrible, clenching feeling. It is an intense, self-inflicted force that seems to be working against any efficient output on my bike's flywheel. After a while, I figure it out. I'm desperately trying to keep myself from bouncing. Now, before the spin instructors of the world jump on me, I know, you shouldn't necessarily be bouncing if you have your resistance at the correct level, but at some point, when you're told to match your pace to the rhythm of the song, and that song is Destiny's Child's Jumpin' Jumpin', think about it, shit's gonna bounce. So I'm very busy bracing myself against the natural syncopations my curvy body wants to add to the song, and causing my musculature a stressful disservice in the process. Why? Because as a young girl, I was taught that seeing flesh move, boobs, thighs, butt, otherwise, is unattractive and unappealing, and it should all just stay put. That's why by the time I was in middle school, I was effortfully pulling on girdle underwear and stuffing myself into minimizer bras every morning. That's why I spent years feeling shame as I watched television or looked at magazines, and so saw no resemblance between those bellies and my belly. And that's why the other day, at 32, despite 7 years' worth of analysis, I had an absolute, certifiable meltdown in therapy, realizing I'm still at war with my body. But it's worse than that. It's so much bigger and so much more insidious than that. And the solution so much more daunting. Because as I stood on a crowded subway on my way home, crying behind sunglasses, and eyeing the women around me, I realized I am not just prejudiced against my own body. I have been inflicted with a prejudice against my body type on myself and others. Once, somewhere around 13, my mother came into my room as I lay on my bed in my underwear and commented on how zoftig I looked. I think she meant it as a compliment, but where weight, and from as early as I can remember, my particular need to lose it, was such a consistent topic of conversation around the Rosenberg household, I instead took it as a vile insult. To this day, when I hear the word, something inside me seizes in revulsion. At this particular session, my therapist used the word to describe me, and I practically spit across the room at her from behind the tiny fort I had built out of bald tissues. Now, I find myself in the painful process of taking a harsh look at how I judge other women, consciously and unconsciously. How my monkey mind plays a constant game of comparison, swinging from body part to body part, throwing its sick feces around. And I am crushed by the overwhelming task of change. How can I possibly glorify anything other than smooth, taut, immobile skin when I never see anything but? If I never see shaking, jiggling, pockmarked skin, if I never see pubic hair or butt zits, if I never see the watery flesh of soft arms anywhere but on myself, how can I ever heal? I can make progressive comments on Facebook all I want about the fleshy models on ModCloth, but my diseased brain still glorifies Athleta. The Buddhist response, the one I always look to first, is forgiveness. Namely of myself and my family members who influence these beliefs. But to truly work through this, I think I have to figure out how to forgive all of Western society? I mean, seriously. The industries that support the glorification of the lean have undergone some change, but there aren't enough Beyoncés and Rick Owenses and Melissa McCarthy's out there to make a dent yet. The only way I think I can heal, grow, and see myself as sexy is to let go of my anger, forgive my entire culture, and sever my self-worth from its clenching fists. I gotta let go and bounce. When I was drinking, I could bounce. People drink to conjure their beer goggles, right? It's a blurry lens to pull over the eyes and make the prospective one-night stand sitting in front of you more attractive. I drank to make what I like to call full beer headgear. With beer headgear, the goggles have little mirrors in them. So instead of seeing my date as more attractive, I was magically able to see myself as more attractive. Additionally, beer headgear comes with 2 beer earplugs, or beer plugs, which accomplish a much more important goal: quieting the unending prattle of body-hating self-judgment. I could dance in a beer helmet. I could flirt in a beer helmet. I could bounce in a beer helmet. And I think I judged others less in a beer helmet. I wouldn't trade my sobriety for anything in the world, but after 4.5 years, I still have not figured out how to generate a boozeless bounce. Of course, alcohol is used the world over to enhance social buoyancy. I'm no one new or special, but there are lots of non-drinkers out there, and they must have figured it out one way or another. I don't think I can go it alone. I need my friends to stop hating on themselves too. I need us to all stop commenting on one another, comparing one another. I need men and women to be more outspoken about what they find sexy across the whole spectrum. I need Hoda and Kathy to stop doing specials on dieting while sucking back Pinot Grigio at 8 in the morning. I need to see what models' thighs actually look like without an airbrush. I need the expression, "nothing tastes as good as skinny feels," to be banned from the English language. I need every woman to wear just a sports bra at yoga, not just the skinny girls. I need more Beyonce. I need more Rick Owens. I need more Melissa McCarthy. And in the meantime, I need to bounce.